Please proceed to the nearest exit. Evacuate immediately.
The first beat closes like a swallowed breath, the morning's calm giving way to black water and trembling metal. Would you have caught the first signal as the sting of salt or the shriek of a lamppost? If you were there, would you run or turn back to pull one more person along?
Get out of the way! Look out, it's coming!
Europe pulls shut its steel gates, yet the water still finds a way through. Do you put your faith in the wall or in the stranger's hand, gripping yours on the steps? In your city, where is the first high place you would run to?
Get to higher ground! Are you okay over there?
Evacuate immediately! This is not a drill!
Watch out! What's happening? Oh my god!
Back!
Oh no!
The American coastline bows under the force of water. It is not always a 50-meter wave. Sometimes half a meter over the edge is enough to change the fate of an entire neighborhood. Have you ever stood before a familiar street and failed to recognize it because of the water?
Attenzione cittadini, si prega di evacuare le aree a bassa quota con calma e ordine.
Watch out! The wave is coming!
Run! Get to higher ground!
The Mediterranean Sea is no longer a blue postcard. When water touches stones that have stood for centuries, even time is knocked askew. Have you ever thought the salt gates were high enough for another day, but not for this one?
attempt of rescue in progress.
The West Coast strains like a cable under wind and water. The line between safe and too late is thinner than a grain of salt clinging to a wet handrail. Do you have a plan for which high point to meet your family at if the signal comes at
Please
midnight?
evacuate immediately.
こちらはね、緊急事態ですね。安全な場所に避難してくださいね。
Attention, all residents. Please evacuate immediately.
Watch out! The taxi is floating away! Attention, all visitors. Please remain calm.
Please seek shelter immediately.
Move to higher ground.
Det er vildt herude. Varning! Varning! Extremt väder! Håll er inne!
The Asia Pacific speaks in a different wind, yet it is the same kind of water. Can we learn to read the sky the way we read a subway map? When you travel along the coast, have you noticed the exit signs pointing up the hill?
Dike, dike! Dike, dike!
Watch out!
Northern Europe is cold, yet the water still has a temper. The photos afterward will show not only rocks and waves, but people standing side by side. What would you want to preserve for the next generation from hours like these? When the water recedes, what remains is not just mud streaks, but hands holding hands. What will you tell a child born next year about this day in 2025? Perhaps the most frightening part of Heavy Storm 2025 was not the moment the waves stood upright, but when we heard neighbors calling each other's names through the sting of salt foam. From New York to Rotterdam, from London to New Orleans, the structures we believed eternal proved to be only a breath taller than the sea. Yet I also saw the most enduring things: a rope passed from hand to hand, water-soaked shoes, pushing upstream, a thin shaft of sunlight cutting through mist to reveal a human face. The disaster was fierce, sudden, and beyond measure, but it did not surpass the way we found one another. If there is one simple lesson, it is this: a safety map must already be in your pocket, and the list of names you will call out should be updated, like your own emergency contacts. Have you ever drawn a high ground meeting point for your family? And if not tonight, where would you place it on your city's map? If these scenes make you think, leave a comment in the place where you live. What is the first signal of water? The smell of salt, the sound of wind, or the flashing lights on the seawall? And if you want to journey with real stories of people facing disaster, subscribe to Horrific Happenings so you won't miss the next videos.